Hey, check it out. This is the entrepreneurial life. Not that bad, right? Pretty good. All right, get this set. All right, good. How's it going, everybody? Zander Fryer, CEO and founder of High Impact Coaching and best-selling author here. And I wanted to ask you, do you think you deserve to be an entrepreneur? Or do you belong in a 9-to-5? I'm gonna tell you a really harsh truth right now. See, only about 15% of the world was born to be entrepreneurs, according to a study that he did. Only about 15%. But there's about 500,000 new entrepreneurs that spring up every single month in the US alone. And because of that, over 80% of entrepreneurs end up failing. Now, I don't say this to scare you. I just say this because you need to understand, if you are not programmed to be an entrepreneur from the beginning, you need to understand that you need to reprogram yourself to think like an entrepreneur, to believe like an entrepreneur, to have the mindset of an entrepreneur. Because if you don't do that, you'll never be successful. See, the truth is, 95% of your brain is your subconscious mind. And that subconscious is constantly being programmed by society and culture, the people and the things around you. And it's not programming you to be successful. You're 5 times more likely to be programmed by negative influence, negative emotions, negative experiences than you are by positive ones. And a majority of the people in your life are not programming you to be a successful entrepreneur. So if you're not taking control of that 95% of your brain, the beliefs, the thoughts, the habits that are going on in your head, you won't make it. So I want to share with you the 5 differences, the 5 mindset differences and belief differences between entrepreneurs and someone who belongs in a 9-to-5. So number 1 difference between entrepreneurs and 9-to-5ers is what I call the 60-100 rule. All right? 9-to-5ers need 100% of the steps in order for them to be successful. They need everything laid out from them from A to Z to be successful in what they do. But an entrepreneur can get 60% of the steps and they can figure out the other 40. This requires you to be resourceful. This requires for you to be a problem solver. As an entrepreneur, you never run out of problems. Your job as an entrepreneur is to be a professional problem solver. And if you can't get good at solving problems every day, you'll never be successful as an entrepreneur. You have to be able to take 60% of the recipes, of the combinations, and actually turn those into the full solution. So that's the 60-100 rule. Number 2, 9-to-5ers seek success. Entrepreneurs actually seek failure. This might shock you a little bit, but I want you to think about it for a second. When you're seeking success, if you do an undertaking that might not be 100% successful in the beginning, you shy away from it. You run away from failure. There's the fear of criticism, the fear of judgment, the fear of other people seeing you as not being successful. So you shy away from it. A true entrepreneur seeks failure because they know that by going and doing something, and frankly, effing it up a little bit, they're gonna learn, they're gonna get better, they're gonna figure out how to solve this problem that nobody else could solve. You need to learn to not only be okay with failure, but to actually seek failure. And when you start to do that, that's when you know that you're set for entrepreneurship. Number 3 is decisiveness versus perfection paralysis. 9-to-5ers get stuck in perfection. They want everything to be perfect. And that's not your fault. You were programmed that way from a young kid, right? You only get 1 shot at your test in school. You only get 1 shot at the project that you have to have completed for your midterms. And if you don't get it perfect, you're not gonna get a good grade, right? This is why C students make the best entrepreneurs, because they're not afraid to put out C+ work, because they're decisive, they take action and they get stuff moving forward. If you're holding yourself back from taking action and deciding on things because you're scared that you don't have the perfect answer, you might belong in a 9-to-5. To this point, I've been an entrepreneur now for only 3 years, 3.5 years, but I've made decisions to purchase $100,000 mastermind tickets in 7 minutes. I've made decisions to hire or fire new employees within hours. You have to be able to make decisions very, very quickly and live with those decisions as you make them. Because the truth is, indecision is the only way to truly fail. That's number 3. Number 4, mindset difference between a 9-to-5er and an entrepreneur. I don't know versus I don't know, but. The 9-to-5er will say, I don't know, and they'll throw their hands up in the air, and they say, oh my God, I don't know the answer, I don't know what to do here, I can't do this. They'll whine and complain and blame the situation and say they're not good enough and say they don't have the right resources. But the entrepreneur will say, I don't know, but I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna make this happen. And they'll get resourceful, they'll get relentless, they'll get convicted into solving the problem and figuring it out. It's the difference between I don't know and I don't know but. You need to be an I don't know but person. You need to be a but person, frankly, is what you need to be. That's number 4. And number 5, I already forgot number 5. So we're gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna look up number 5 right now. Don't judge me, all right? Give me a second. Wow, this is fitting. Number 5, under pressure, do you freeze or do you get into action? Number 5 is under pressure, do you freeze or do you get into action, right? The truth is, pressure is a privilege. Think about that for a second. Pressure is a privilege. Now, most 9-to-5ers, as soon as they feel pressure, as soon as they feel stress, they crumble. But pressure is what turns coal into diamonds. Pressure is what turns minor leaguers into champions, into all-stars. If you don't step up and take action under pressure, you don't deserve to be an entrepreneur. So you need to start to shift that mindset. If the pressure currently freezes you, learn to take action under pressure, because the truth is, success can only come from action. If you're stuck in inaction, you'll never get there. These are the 5 rules, these are the 5 mindset shifts that you have to make to be successful as an entrepreneur. And if you can't make these 5 shifts, you might belong in a 9-to-5. I know it sounds harsh, but it's the truth. So I want you to remember, as an entrepreneur, you didn't sign up for easy, you signed up for impact.